You're truly listening when you're thinking. But have you ever given it any thought? Are you listening to someone or something? Is that your voice? Or is there something more profound, something concealed, something that simultaneously speaks lies and truths? Consider it. What is that incessant chatter in your mind that recounts your past, questions your choices, reenacts memories, or even makes predictions about the future that never materialize? And why does it control you so strongly? This is a fact that most people are unaware of. Your thoughts are not who you are. The voice is not you. It is you who hears it. You are the one who is silently observing all of that noise. However, the majority of individuals spend their lives enmeshed in a web of mental chatter that they confuse for reality, stuck in their own minds. However, what if I told you that you could actually escape this never-ending cacophony? What if you could transcend the boundaries that your own thoughts have set for you? Imagine having an endless supply of energy, clarity, and tranquility in your life. The mind craves control, you see. It thrives on keeping you preoccupied with planning, fretting, regretting, and pondering. Additionally, life is unfolding in front of you, minute by moment, while you're trapped in its clutches. You miss the magic of just being there, the beauty, and the silence. We'll look at ways to quiet the chatter and get in touch with the deeper side of yourself in this video, the side that lives outside of your ideas, feelings, and sense of control. You'll discover how to escape the incessant noise and discover a degree of tranquility you never knew was achievable. Therefore, I ask that you take a deep breath and, for a little while, put everything else aside. Let this moment mark the start of a journey to uncover the true you, the you who has been patiently waiting behind the cacophony all along. Because the truth is that the voice in your head isn't you, and once you realize that, you won't ever view your life or your ideas in the same light. Let's now take a closer look at what that voice really is and how you can at last find inner peace again. What do you hear while you're by yourself thinking? A steady, encouraging mentor or a restless, incessant chatter? The majority of us have an inner voice that never stops talking, a continuous narrative that plans, critiques, replays, and analyzes. The startling reality is that voice isn't you. Hold on a second. Doesn't that imply that you are distinct from the voice if you can hear it and see it? You are the one listening to the conversation, not the chatter itself. Knowing that you are not the voice is a significant step in regaining inner peace since it allows you to start separating from it. However, why is the voice there at all? Its intent isn't necessarily detrimental. It's a system made to protect you, help you understand the world, and help you anticipate and plan. Yet, it causes mental disorder in its eager attempts to protect. It rehabs disputes, foresees issues, and frequently creates anxieties that never materialize. Take a moment to picture yourself at a movie theater. A stunning view of a sunset over a calm ocean is seen on the screen. However, someone is sitting next to you, constantly saying, "Why is the sun that color?" instead of savoring the moment. Will it rain, in your opinion? What comes next? Your inner voice does that. It chronicles your life so relentlessly that you fail to appreciate the beauty of just being there. Then, how do you escape? Seeing the voice is the first step. Now, take a moment. If you can, close your eyes. Pay attention to the ideas that are going through your head. What do they say? Are they watching this video and making plans for your next move? Perhaps even questioning the effectiveness of this practice? Just pay attention to whatever it is. Observe how the voice acts as though it were living on its own. Here's a crucial realization. It's not you speaking. It's merely a pattern, a group of thought patterns. You distance yourself from the conversation when you watch it objectively. Freedom is this space. Without the filter of incessant mental chatter, it's the place where you may experience life firsthand. Your attention is what the voice thrives on. It gets stronger the more you believe its stories. However, as soon as you observe it from a distance, its potency starts to fade. You take on the role of the audience, calmly watching the performance, rather than the actor caught up in the action. And keep in mind that the objective is not to suppress the voice. That isn't feasible. There will be a flow of thoughts. It's your responsibility to understand that they are only ideas and not reality. They resemble clouds moving through the sky. Large, constant, and impervious to the clouds, you are the sky. Realizing that you are not your thoughts, but rather the awareness that underlies them, is the cornerstone of inner freedom. And as you develop this awareness, you'll find a greater sense of calm and clarity than you've ever experienced. Let's now examine what occurs when you apply this knowledge to the feelings the voice frequently evokes. How to let go of the past and really let go. Letting go isn't easy, of course. Even though certain emotions have deep roots and are connected to painful previous experiences, the same principle applies. Feel the feeling, but avoid becoming it. Don't let it define you, but watch it. What if I told you that the majority of your emotional burden stems from your inability to let go of the events rather than the events themselves? Your life doesn't have to be defined by unpleasant memories, unresolved anger, and persistent worries. However, as long as you keep them, they will. Similar to energy, emotions must flow and move. However, that energy becomes trapped if you hold on to them, relive the past, or fight your emotions. It becomes baggage that you take with you everywhere you go, and the longer you hang on to it, the heavier it feels. Consider what occurs after someone says or does anything that offends you. Even if the experience may only last a few minutes, your mind keeps playing it again and scrutinizing every little detail. You experience the anguish as though it keeps happening. In actuality, your incapacity to move on from the incident is what is causing you pain now. However, letting go is about releasing yourself from the hold that something has on you, not about forgetting or acting as though it never happened. It's about letting feelings surface, be experienced, and then subside. This is a straightforward yet significant insight. Feelings are fleeting, like ocean waves. Feelings of anger, sadness, and fear rise, peak, and then subside. However, you will be pulled under if you attempt to battle the wave, oppose it, or cling to it. Now allow me to lead you through a practice. Consider an issue that has been bothering you, such as a disagreement, a regret, or even a concern for the future. Observe the sensation in your body. Do you have a knot in your gut or a tightness in your chest? Allow it to be there without passing judgment or attempting to ignore it. Now inhale deeply. Imagine the knot unwinding and the tightness releasing as you release your breath. Tell yourself, I see you, I feel you, and I release you. Continue breathing slowly and let the feelings pass through you. This is surrender's power, not weakness, but freedom. You make room for your emotions to pass when you stop battling them. You just experience what's there, letting go of the narrative your mind is telling. Naturally, it's not always easy to let go. Certain feelings have deep roots and are connected to traumatic events from the past. Even yet, the same rule applies. Observe the emotion without allowing it to define you. Feel it, but don't become it. Here's an additional exercise. Say something like, "This is anger," or "This is sadness," when you're experiencing a strong emotion. You distance yourself from it by giving it a name. Remember that it's only an emotion and not who you are, because in reality, life is about overcoming pain rather than avoiding it. It's about giving yourself permission to feel intensely and to completely experience things without being stuck. Now that you've started to let go of your emotional burden, let's examine the illusion of control, another cause of inattention, and see how letting go can free you. Everyone wants to be in charge. Our life, others, and the future are all under our control. Does it feel secure? Like you'd be all right if you could just handle every aspect? The paradox is that the more you want to exert control, the more you come to understand how little power you truly possess. This revelation can be liberating, even though it may first be frightening. Consider it. How often have you meticulously planned something just to let things unfold naturally? Perhaps you practiced the ideal dialogue, but it didn't work out. Or you had a specific vision for how your career would develop, only to wind up in a totally other direction. Isn't that frustrating? However, it's also unavoidable. The illusion of control. Life is too big and complicated to be contained within the boundaries we set. You wish it wouldn't rain, but the weather doesn't alter. You have mental scripts for other people, but they don't always behave that way. What about the future? No matter how hard you try to control or foresee it, it will happen as it will. What occurs, therefore, If you hold on to this delusion of control, you endure pain. You try to control life's natural flow by resisting it. You wear yourself out worrying about things that are out of your control. The more tightly you grasp anything, the more it slides out, much like when you're attempting to keep water in your hands. What if, however, you let go? What if you gave up in trust rather than defeat? Having faith that life is in control, even when you're not having faith in your ability to manage any situation, even if it deviates from your original plan. I'll walk you through a little exercise. If you can, close your eyes and focus on something you're now attempting to control. Perhaps you're frantic to have a particular result, a connection, or a choice to go a specific way. Take note of how your body feels. Is there conflict, fear, a feeling of urgency? Now, take a deep breath and visualize letting go of the need to control as you exhale. Imagine releasing the object you've been holding so firmly by opening your hands. I want to know, do you believe it's possible to find true freedom by accepting the impermanence of emotions and control? Share your vision in the comments. I'd love to reflect with you. And if this thought resonated with you, leave a like. This not only helps expand this conversation, but also connects us on a deeper journey towards inner freedom. Tell yourself, I let go of this. I have faith in the process. Giving up control does not imply that you have stopped caring or acting. It means you show up, give it your all, and then let life unfold naturally. It means you quit trying to control things that aren't yours. Here's the thing. Life has its own beat and knowledge, and you discover a sense of calm that control cannot provide when you give up battling it and accept the flow. Even when things don't go as planned, you begin to realize that they frequently work out better than you could have predicted. Consider yourself standing in a river. You will exhaust yourself if you try to push the water in a different direction by resisting the current. However, you'll move with ease if you go with the flow. The same is true in life. If you allow it, the current will constantly be flowing and directing you. However, giving up involves more than simply your exterior situation. It also involves your inner environment. How frequently do you try to force yourself to feel a specific way by controlling your thoughts or emotions? But what if you just let them be? What if you believe that, like everything else, they will also come and go? This is a motto you can live by. I let go of what I can't control and take charge of what I can. It serves as a reminder that although you have control over your choices, actions, and attitude, life ultimately decides the rest. Repeat it whenever you feel the need to hold on tight, to resist, or to force. Now that you have less control over your life, let's look at ways to live more freely and honestly so that your heart and life can reach their greatest potential. Imagine living a life where you feel free every morning, with a light heart, a calm mind, and an open mind to whatever the day may bring. That's what it means to live freely. However, for a lot of us, it's a far-off ideal since we've erected barriers around ourselves out of hurt, fear, and a need to defend. Consider it. How often have you suppressed your emotions for fear of criticism or steered clear of chances because you didn't want to fail? Although you may think that these walls are protecting you, they are actually trapping you. They obstruct life's flow, interpersonal relationships, and the wonder of novel encounters. Living openly does not guarantee that you won't encounter difficulties or suffer harm. It implies that you no longer allow your life to be controlled by your dread of those things. It indicates that you have made the decision to accept life completely, with all of its uncertainties and flaws. Let's begin by discussing the heart. The strongest energy point in your body is your heart. When it's open, you feel alive, connected, and at peace. When it's closed, you feel heavy, alone, and defensive. Why, therefore, do we shut our hearts? It usually stems from our fear of showing our true selves, of being harmed, or of being perceived as such. However, the truth is that showing our vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is the most unadulterated manifestation of power. Living with an open heart enables you to connect truly, feel deeply, and completely experience life. Indeed, it's dangerous. However, it's also where genuine happiness and contentment can be discovered. This exercise will assist you in beginning to open your heart. Think for a moment about a person, pet, location, or simply a memory that you cherish. Experience the warmth that accompanies such affection. Now picture that sensation spreading outward, filling your chest. Allow that sensation to intensify with every breath, as though you were releasing it into the world. That's what an open heart can do. And living this way, not protected but free, becomes easier the more you do it. Embracing the present is another aspect of living openly. How frequently do we become preoccupied with regretting the past or worrying about the future? In the meantime, we're missing out on life that is happening right now. Life happens in the here and now. You must let go of the mental distractions that are dragging you away in order to enjoy the beauty, joy, and calm that are there. This is a little exercise to help you stay focused on the here and now. Stop wherever you are. Breathe deeply and pay attention to your surroundings. Observe what? Do you hear anything? How do you feel? Use all of your senses. Bring your thoughts back to the present moment when they begin to stray. Being present is a technique that opens the door to living freely. It enables you to perceive life for what it is, rather than how your imagination imagines it, and you discover freedom in that clarity. Living openly, however, involves more than just how you relate to yourself. It also has to do with how you relate to other people. How often do we hide our own feelings and ideas out of fear of being misunderstood or rejected? Yet, genuine connections are formed during those times of openness and vulnerability. This is a challenge. Engage in radical honesty the next time you're speaking. Tell the truth about yourself that you might otherwise keep to yourself. Take note of the sensation of expressing yourself honestly and freely. The way it strengthens your bond with the other person may surprise you. Saying yes to life is another aspect of living freely. Too frequently, we wait for the ideal opportunity and pull back out of fear or uncertainty. However, the reality is that you rarely have ideal times in life. You must establish them by taking initiative and saying yes, even when you're not sure. You make the decision to live openly every day. It involves being totally present, accepting vulnerability, and letting go of fear. Even if it's not always simple, it's always worthwhile. Now that you've discovered the potential of living freely, let's unite by learning how to attain real freedom. Long-lasting freedom regardless of what life throws at you. What does being genuinely free mean? Is it the absence of obligations? Is it a way to avoid all suffering and hardship? No. True freedom means accepting life to the fullest, not running away from it. It's about letting go of the inner restraints that keep you from moving forward, such as the urge for control, emotional burden, and mental chatter. The source of true freedom is inside. Consider freedom as something you discover rather than something you achieve. Beneath the layers of opposition, uncertainty, and fear, it already exists. When you let go of things you cannot control and stop holding on to things that no longer serve you, you naturally become free. Let's begin by discussing the mind. The majority of us believe that freedom comes from resolving every issue or accomplishing every objective. However, have you ever observed how a new issue always arises once an old one is resolved? It resembles an endless game. The fact is that until you learn to take a step back and examine things, your mind will always find something to focus on. This is a drill. Pause the next time your thoughts are racing with plans or concerns. I am not my thoughts, so take a big breath and remind yourself. Observe them as though they were leaves drifting through a stream. Don't hold on to them and let them go. This is about releasing oneself from the narratives your mind constructs about reality, not about denying it. Let's now discuss emotions. Being truly free does not imply losing your emotions. It implies that your emotions no longer control you. Though they will fluctuate like waves, emotions don't have to take you with them. Recognize your feelings of dread, despair, or rage. Say, "I see you and I accept you." Then, rather than fighting or holding on to it, let it pass through you. This is one of the most potent insights on freedom. To be at peace, you don't need everything to go your way. When you stop striving for perfection in life, you can find freedom even in the midst of chaos. Picture yourself in the midst of a hurricane. Even though the rain is falling and the wind is howling, there is silence in the middle. That silence is who you really are. It's the aspect of you that is unaffected by outside events. You understand that freedom is about finding serenity within the storm, not about stopping it. when you can relate to that stillness. How do you exercise this freedom on a daily basis then? By being present and letting go of things you cannot alter, by accepting life as it is, not how you would like it to be. I am free no matter what. This is a slogan to live by. It serves as a reminder that your freedom isn't out there and should be said whenever you feel overburdened, when plans don't work out, or when emotions are threatening to take over. Here, genuine freedom means embracing life to the fullest, without fear, without resistance, and without the need for control. It's about living each moment to the fullest and having faith that everything will work out. Breathe for a moment. We've been working for this goal, so just be here, let the words settle, and let the thoughts be silent. The knowledge that you already own all you need. You don't need to seek after the clarity, tranquility, and independence. They are just waiting for you to find them. With that agitated inner voice, recall where we began. The voice may have initially appeared to be in charge, controlling every thought, emotion, and choice you made. However, you now realize that the voice isn't you. You are the one who is seeing, listening, and deciding how much authority to grant it. We then discussed the burden of emotional baggage, including the sorrow, anxiety, and rage we have carried for far too long. Because you're not supposed to cling to every wave that crashes against you, letting go meant acknowledging those feelings, honoring them, and then letting them go. No matter how strong the tide gets, you're supposed to let them go and have faith that you'll stay steadfast. We then discovered the delusion of control, the idea that we can influence every result, prevent every error, and shield ourselves from the unpredictabilities of life. Real freedom came from letting go, trusting life's course, and understanding that the less you fight, the more tranquil you become. Finally, we began to practice the art of open living. No more concealment, no more walls. Rather, an open heart that is willing to love and be loved, to bravely and authentically embrace life's moments. Joy exists here, in the here and now, unadulterated and unrefined. What comes next then? With all this knowledge, what do you do? The solution is straightforward. Practice. This is a daily decision rather than a one-time shift. Because freedom isn't a destination, a finish line you cross, or a prize you win, you have the chance to take a step back and watch. Let go of what doesn't serve you, relinquish control, and open yourself to the limitless possibilities of life at every moment. Freedom is a condition of being. It's repeatedly choosing to trust yourself, to come back to yourself, and to live fully and honestly, no matter what life throws at you. Thus, as you exit this video, inhale deeply once more. Feel the calm inside of you, that part of you that nothing can shake. Keep it in mind, follow its guidance, and never forget that your inner freedom comes from inside, not from the circumstances outside of you. The freedom that has always been yours is now yours to enjoy. I appreciate you coming along on this trip with me. It means that you've already begun to reflect on how detachment and acceptance can transform the way you live. I'd like to invite you to strengthen this learning process. Leave a like, as it really helps the channel to grow and reach more people.